a lot of impressive games this weekend. And so let's just jump right into the video. Here is my week one takeaways overreaction is that Colorado gets a huge win against TCU. I'm going to admit, I have to formally apologize to Coach Prime. I'll keep my receipt if he keeps his. Like I thought that TCU would be able to handle business against Colorado. But boy, was I wrong. That was a really fun game. Easily game of the year so far. It could probably be a top 10 game if we're not, careful. It was a shootout, no defense, went to the end. What can't be ignored is honestly the 4th and 3 touchdown. What seemed like a little dink and dunk kind of pass from Sanders to Edwards turned into the biggest play of the game, along with Buffalo's stop on defense. But that was a game. Notre Dame, Alabama, Georgia, all these guys taking care of business against their lower team opponents and stuff. Like, it's impressive to me how much Notre Dame's been able to put up a fight these last 2 weeks by dropping 40 plus 50 plus games. But then again, look at who they're playing. Same with Alabama against Middle Tennessee, and then UT Martin at Georgia. Like, these games are impressive, but then at the same time, it's like there's not really so much to say like, oh, this is what we can take away, because we still don't know if Carson Beck's the real deal. We still don't know if Milroe's the real deal at Alabama. One of the biggest concerns this week was Ohio State. They played awful. And there was a moment there, because I was watching the Notre Dame game first. I didn't watch the Ohio State game. Like, I just let that play. When I tuned into the game, it was only 7-3. It wasn't before Ohio State started putting up some first downs and a touchdown. I was like, holy cow, could Indiana get a week one upset against Ohio State? That would have been really awesome. But it's a big concern. And for me personally, in my power rankings, I have Ohio State dropping. If this is how they play against, again, if they go on win the national championship, everybody's going to forget about this game. But it's like, if they can't even beat Indiana, they're not going to beat Michigan. They're not going to beat Michigan State. They're not going to beat Penn State. Like, it's going to be a long, tough year for the Buckeyes. They won, but at the end of the day, it was an ugly win. Harrison Jr. also was virtually, absent from the game. But that running game, I will give the Buckeyes credit on that. We stay in the Big Ten and go from a bad-looking team to a bad-lucky-looking team. The Penn State versus West Virginia game, I think, lived up to the hype there in the first half. But then in the second half, it was ugly. It was another ugly, lucky win by the Nittany Lions. And I'm not trying to critique, like, I think Penn State's going to do a phenomenal job this year. But there were so many moments in that game where it's like, they just let West Virginia hang around. And I think you got to give a lot of credit to Green for the Mountaineers, because he just kept fighting, even though there were so many drives where it was either dumb penalties, mistakes like dropping the pass, miscues, where West Virginia was in that ballgame. Like, they had 2 missed field goals. They were only down by 1 score at halftime. It's like, holy cow, the Mountaineers can shock some people here. But just dumb miscues ended up costing them the game. So for me, looking forward in my predictions, even though I made a prediction overall about West Virginia, I had them going like 7-5, I think. I think West Virginia is a pesky team. So Big 12 teams like K-State, Texas, Oklahoma, I'd be nervous to go play West Virginia. And then lastly, as we roll on here, USC somehow improved. The defense got better, but like magically they put up 66 against Nevada, which, okay, it's Nevada still, but Caleb Williams showed up again. He improved his touchdown totals to 9, putting on a little bit more highlight reel plays. And then the last game, Sunday night, we had Florida State against LSU. I'm not going to lie. I had LSU beating Florida State. I think the hype is way too real for Florida State and LSU, both. Like, the hype is just way too much. There have been teams in the past that have been really highly ranked, and then they end up falling apart. Like, it's happened to Florida, it's happened to Oklahoma, it's happened to Baylor. That's all my reaction for this week one, pending if Clemson beats Duke, which hopefully I think they do. Stay tuned. I'm going to do like a Heisman pick, but unless Will Shipley or Cade have like a 5-6 touchdown performance, like, I have my Heisman locks in for this week one. But that's all just pending. Thanks for watching the video. I'll catch you next time.